So I want to bring you up to speed with two critical factors. One, the various phases. There are two phases now that have been decided by the Election Commission on the 6th and in the 11th, and they've divided it roughly equal. 121 seats in the first phase, 122 seats in the second phase. But which are the regions that are going to polls? This is very different from 2020 when there were three phases. Those three phases were geographically designed at that time. It was the southern part that went first, then the western part, and then finally the Seemanchal or the eastern part. This time around, what the Election Commission has done is they've done it slightly differently. Phase 1, which goes on the 6th, this is the central part of Bihar. This is Patna included, which of course is the capital, the Magad region, parts of the Bhojpur region, some parts of southern Mithilanchal have been added as well, and of course a large part of the central part of Bihar. Now this, in 2020, it was evenly split between the Mahagathbandhan and the NDA, largely because the Mahagathbandhan got a bunch of seats in what used to be the erstwhile Naxal belt, as it were, in places like Buxar, Jahanabad, Aurangabad, etc. Also, these are parts that sort of border Jharkhand. So it was 61 to the Gathbandhan and 59 to the NDA. There was a roughly 1.5% or so, a little over 1.5% vote share difference between the NDA and the Mahagathbandhan. So this was a phase which the Mahagathbandhan had won. Remember, it was a three-phase election in 2020. The election turned at the end of phase 1, starting of phase 2 and phase 3. That's where the election turned. And then you have phase 2, which again, this time around, again is interesting because it's got a whole bunch of these border seats. So Mithilanchal, the Champaran seats, and then the Mithilanchal seats. All of these, this is the border with Nepal, so it's a porous border. It could have an impact on these border seats. And then you have the border seats on the eastern side in the Seemanchal region. This is Araria, Purnia, Katihar. These are seats, of course, which have a high minority population. These are also seats which have seen an impact of the SIR exercise as well. And then, of course, you have the entire southern Bihar belt as well. So it's almost like a horseshoe shaped, the second set, which is 122 seats. This is the phase where the NDA did exceptionally well last time around. It was a close election, but the NDA got 66 out of 122 last time around. The Gathbandhan got just 49, and the vote share also has completely flipped. It's the NDA with 38% vote share and the Mahagathbandhan with just 36. So it was a 2% vote share difference between the NDA and the Mahagathbandhan. And this was the phase that sort of really did it for the BJP and for the NDA. The seats up in the north of the Ganga, the Mithilanchal belt, some parts of the Seemanchal belt, and of course in the south, where the Mahagathbandhan seems to have done better in Bihar. So this is how it will play out in terms of phases this time around, both in the north and in the south.